succinct questions and answers to match. Douglas Lumsden.
To ask the Scottish Government how much of the 20 million Housing Infrastructure Fund that was launched in 2016 as part of the 10-year Aberdeen City Region Deal has been spent?
Cabinet Secretary Mary McCallan.
The Housing Infrastructure Fund forms part of our Affordable Housing Supply Programme. A commitment was made in 2016 alongside the 10-year Aberdeen City Region Deal that £20 million infrastructure funding would be made available. The HIF enables funding for housing developments that have stalled or can't proceed due to excessive costs or the nature of the infrastructure works needed, and it's the responsibility of councils to bring forward eligible HIF projects. Neither Aberdeen nor Aberdeenshire Council have submitted any projects that would meet the fund criteria.
Douglas Lumsden.
Firstly, I'd like to remind Chamber of my register of interest that shows I was a councillor at Aberdeen City Council at the start of this session. And while I was council leader at Aberdeen, we found it impossible to access this cash. And that's why there's only zero being spent. And calls by my colleague Liam Kerr to use this 20 million pot to compensate RAAC, homeowners and Tory have fallen on deaf ears in this SNP government, which I would have thought was a good solution. So will the Cabinet Secretary reach out to both Aberdeen and Aberdeenshire councils to find ways for this money to be spent on housing before it's lost to the North East?
Cabinet Secretary.
The Housing Infrastructure Fund is a well-used fund throughout the country, so I don't recognise the characterisation of it by Douglas Lumsden, but you ought to catch up a little bit. I have today written to Aberdeen Council to confirm that its request for £10 million to meet the cost of RAAC remediation does not meet the criteria of the Housing Infrastructure Fund. I have instead invited the Council to submit a proposal for additional grant support through the Affordable Homes Supply Programme for the equivalent amount. This will not only help the Council in turn to meet the cost of remediation from within its own budgets, but also make a valuable contribution towards Scotland's supply of affordable housing.
Thank you, Cabinet Secretary.